This episode of the Free99 podcast is brought to you by Attention to Detail Barber Gallery, located at 2180 Sutter Street in the city of San Francisco. Give them a call, 415-932-6904. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at ATDBarberSF. We Eating presents the Free99 podcast. Be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Twitch, Instagram. Search FRE99 podcast. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to all the listeners. Philly Phil in the building.
What up?
Mono in the building.
All right.
And I'm the good homie Gus Customer Service. Episode 111 Free99 podcast. Special guest. Special guest. Hey. All right. Lightweight legend in the building.
I agree.
I've heard that.
Right?
I agree.
You've heard it from different.
I've heard it. And I don't even know him, but I've heard it.
This is your favorite barber's favorite barber, my boy Anton. What's up, Anton? Hey!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Attention to Detail, located at 2180 Sutter Street, San Francisco, CA 94115. Phone number 415-932-6904. Once again, 2180 Sutter Street, San Francisco, California, 94115. Veterano, really like veteran. Yeah.
I'm hearing that often, actually. I get the OG term now,
what's up, my OG?
which is crazy. Yeah.
Or, do you get unked yet?
I little unks, but not all the way full blown, but definitely get the OG reference.
Does it feel good?
You know, it
depends who's
no, you know what? It feels good in the sense that you know that you're, because it's a kind gesture, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and it's a term of respect, right? So like I do dig that, but then you can't help but to, look into it and be like, damn, I've been in this game a long time, and then you reflect on your age. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean?
We were just talking in the car a little bit, and then I just want to, like, just to paint a picture where how I know Anton is. My cousin Les told me, hey, because I'd ask him who he goes to, and this is like early 2000s. This was like I was right out of high school, and then I was tired of my high school barber because I used to go to. Shout out to OG Abner, Top of the Hill, Daly City. I used to go to
That's a legend, man.
Right? You get free Coke, you get cookies, you get coffee. Shout out to my OG over there. But I went to my cousin Les, and I was like, hey, I need to get cut. Like, who do you go to? He goes, you go to Anton. He's over in Chicago too. And I was like, oh, okay. I go, which one is he? He goes, the only Filipino one.
Yeah.
First chair.
Yeah, real.
First chair.
The busiest chair.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was such a good time in my life. In terms of my career, like, I learned so much, from, my mentor, Robert Harlan.
Shout out to Rob.
Yeah, shout out to Rob. Being with, like my good longtime friends, Dell, Ken, who's my brother who eventually came with me to ATD.
Shout out to Ken.
Yeah, shout out to Ken, shout out to Dell, shout out to Dave, shout out to, there was a lot of people that I was fortunate to be around and it taught me as a young man, the game, in terms of the barber game. And, and understand Chicago Twos is a legendary black barbershop.
Yep.
So for myself.
How was that? Like growing, like what year did you step into Chicago Twos? And I
thought about this earlier. I think we talked about this in the car earlier. I started, August of 1998.
Okay.
And that's when I started. And prior to that, I had my first daughter a year prior.
We just graduated 2 years ago, right?
So University. Who graduated from Portland State. Big up to Alexis.
Woo.
So proud of you.
Lex.
Yeah, those, and again, like at the time, I was just young and hungry. You know what I mean? So luckily, coming out of 6th Street Barber School is where I went and got my education.
6th Street was different back in the
shit. I mean, it's
late
still
90s.
I mean, it's still grimy. It still had that grimy element still, but it was like ill especially for a kid coming from the peninsula. I grew up in South City, Daly City, Westboro area.
The borough, Maclan.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, Westboro, like, was huge. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of history. There was a lot of history and a lot of talent that actually, if you really look into it, there was a lot of talent that actually came out of there, regardless of, what they wwere doing. There was a lot of like interest in and eclectic people that were coming out of that neighborhood. So obviously it's Pinoy heavy, you know what I mean, but it was really cool to to still represent
love
that part of the town. So
Barber College. Or 6th
so
Street.
6th Street, thank you, G. So how I knew about the Barber College was in high school. I played basketball all 4 years, and my coach hated it because I would cut class. Honestly, I would cut class to go get a haircut.
Yeah.
And I would do it once a week. You know what I mean? So my mom would give me $20.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, we're probably similar, upbringings and whatnot.
No tip, guys. This is no tip.
No, so like on some real game. So she would give me $20, and the first thing I would think about when I would get the $20 was like, all right, I'm gonna spend this $7. I'm gonna allocate $7 to get my haircut.
Yeah.
And I would go to the 6th Street because that was the spot to go to, but it was kind of underground, so you didn't really know. And for someone like us, being Pinoy, you know what I mean, you weren't going into those parts of town. So even though Soma, obviously, there's a heavy Pinoy community, but you didn't know about that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the idea of going there was kind of far-fetched in a lot of ways. So
it's right after Powell Street, though. You know what I mean?
So it was out of Powell Street. And to rewind that, and this might be another thing. Like I worked at First Step. I don't know if you guys are familiar with
Powell?
First Step on Powell with the staircase.
The upstairs,
hot straight up.
Yeah.
So big up to Ro B. He put me on. Ro and I were the only Pinoys at the time that they took in. You got to understand, this was a Korean ran company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were all Korean. You know what I mean? So, and this was the hub of sneakers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The hub of sneakers was First Step. Shout to Willie, who was next to Blondie's, the pizza spot, right? You guys remember Blondie? Right. So that was a thing. You know what I mean? So I was maybe 15 years old, and this is like my only real job in that sense. You know what I mean? I don't say that in no disregard, but that was my only real job.
To where you had to report to someone.
Yes, I had to report to someone.
You had a paycheck. It was written out from someone else.
Yeah. And it was so cool because it was the illest sneaker store.
Yep.
And I was coming up, and you gotta think, I'm coming up in the 90s, 94, 95, where all the fly shit was coming out at that time. And it's a lot of the retros that you see now is what we actually got the original release. Yeah. You know what I mean? And shit, I could talk about that a lot actually. So anyway, fast forward, I knew of the Barber College because being downtown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew that, like, all right, this is where you go get a haircut for a decent price. And even as a young boy, that's a lot of money. If I have a $20 budget on a week, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna spend almost half of it on a haircut. It leaves me with nothing less, right?
Yeah.
So this is a lot that I was doing, and so again, so when I was in high school, I would cut class to go get a haircut. I would borrow someone's car. And it would always be me and someone else, and we would mob to 6th Street, and we
when you could park on Market, when you could drive on Market.
Yeah, when you could drive on Market, but not only that, like it was ill then because
Kaplan days.
Yeah, all of that, all the surplus stores were there, and all like big up to like Oxford Street, and because that's when that shit was fly.
City Limits.
City Limits. When you could go big up to my brother T, who was at what's the store that was on Market? I don't know the name of it. I lost my train of thought, but there was a really popular store where everyone went to get their fitteds. You get the triple fat goose, you get the buffalinos, all those like the lottos, all the fly shit like during that era.
That wasn't Kaplan's?
It wasn't Kaplan's. It was something else. Torrance, a good friend of mine, big up to him. He worked there for many years.
I
just drew a blank.
Mid-City Rags?
Yes, Mid-City. Yes.
Boom.
There it is.
Really out there.
Absolutely.
Come on.
So that's some real
Y'all
Frisco shit.
In the park
so that's some real Frisco shit. You know what I mean? And so again, those are the things that you were doing at that age. You know, I'm talking about.
That's where we got fly.
Yeah, exactly. This was like, I would say this is like the year of like maybe like 93, 94.
This is before like True moved into hate. You know?
Yeah. Oh no, this is well before that.
Yeah.
And I have a story about True too. I have a story about like all of that too. Big up to Mike Brown and my brother Les, who introduced me to True.
Come on. And then, like, I think Les met you through Ivan, right?
No. Les and I grew up together. So Les.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So Les
Shout
and
out
his
to
and his
Dallas
set.
A.
Yeah. No. So Les and his set were at El Camino.
That's
and
right.
then I was at South City.
Yeah.
And
y'all used to bang on
we
each
were
other.
all on the same height. You know what I mean? You know, Les and Daniel, they were fly guys. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
They
So
still are.
The,
No,
fresh
absolutely.
F, the fresh F of
yeah,
Bel Air.
absolutely. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, big up to
Brick.
Brick toast.
big up to Daniel and his wife and his family. You know, they're doing amazing things now.
Easy breezy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always like connected. We would go to the dances and we would always link up. It was always, you know what I mean, it was either they came to us or we went to them. So
Had battles.
You know what I mean? But no, but it was always love, you know what I mean? Because we always shared
I'm just talking shit because I know.
No, because we lived, if you lived in Westboro, there's only like 2-3 blocks of distance to anyone else.
Yeah.
Whether you lived off King or you lived off Greendale, off Callan, this shit was never that far. And that, you know, and we walked. You know what I mean? We didn't have
This
lift.
one, everyone was outside on skateboards and BMX
Yeah,
bikes.
exactly. You walk and you just walked the neighborhood because you had nothing else to do,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that was the thing. I lost the I forgot.
We're talking about the
what we
barber
talking about. Okay, I'll say so.
You got it.
I'm sorry. So let's rewind back to
Yeah.
that. So
We get
I
there.
used to go get my haircut there, and that's what really inspired me. Just seeing not only the artistry, but to see, you know, just to be around the culture. You know what I mean? Because it was gritty, it was grimy. You know what I mean? No one wanted to go there. You know, people thought I was crazy. You know what I mean?
How long did you go to school for at the barber college?
So the program is 1,600 hours. It was at that time.
Well, you can pay him out though, right?
I
know a lot of people-
no comment, but yo, there was a lot of that shit going on.
I'm just saying.
No, there was a lot of cats going, like there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And even with that said,
Barber college, like from what I heard, it was like way to hustle. Like if you wanted to cut from like an ill dude,
No,
you
for
gotta
real.
you. The
well,
tip
yo, no,
is-
that's how it was. You had to earn your stripes, right?
Yeah.
So and it was cold. This is some game. It was so cold because they had like the older Asian folks in the front,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Excuse me. And then as you get towards the middle of the shop, you know, it start to diversify.
Uh-huh.
And then you get the Spanish cats, the brothers.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know where to fall in. I just knew I just wanted to learn. I wanted to, you know what I mean, get nice. You know what I mean? But fortunately for myself, I had a knack for it. So I kind of understood like the process of blending.
You've always been around like
Yeah.
that scene as far as like the I don't want to say the beauty scene, but like the salons.
Yes.
You always been,
Yeah, so my background comes from my mother, and she was a retired
Shout to
beautician.
moms.
Shout out to my mother, and you know she showed me a lot without her even knowing. You know what I mean? Because you know the times that that I would have to be in the salon, you know, just because there was no one to watch me or my younger brother. Shout out to Eugene, Chris One. You know, that was the thing because we had no choice. You know, we were there, and you know, we just wait till mom gets off at 9 o'clock.
your
She
homework.
worked. She worked at Tanfran, you know, at this time, and at the Sears. So I don't know if you guys remember Sears.
come on, man.
And I think it's still around. Sears
Hot
is still
Sam's
around.
Sears is done.
Hot Sam's
Oh,
pretzels.
they're done
The Sears is not there no more.
at Tanfran no more.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man, that's crazy. So she worked in the salon that was in Sears, and you know, my brother and I would get off school. You know, we would just walk around the mall, not buy anything, look at everything. We had no money. You know what I mean? And then we would just wait for my mom to get off at 9 o'clock. So if you think about it, you get off at around 3 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Jump on-
and
jump on
we
the
were
bus.
literally at the mall for like 6
Yeah.
hours. You know what I mean? So, but the thing was, is for me myself, I was watching my mom. You know what I mean? I watched what she was doing. I understand. I got to understand and see the tools that she was using.
Tools of the trade.
Absolutely. Remember that T-shirt?
T-shirt? Come on,
Oh
man.
my gosh!
Come
Look
on.
at you.
Come on, man.
Man, Gus
Come
got
on.
some game,
Come
man.
on, man.
So,
This old history here.
no, absolutely. I want to hear about it. So now this is bringing me back. It's crazy. And again, it's reminding me of how long I've been doing this shit. So, you know, so that's where I got it from. Honestly, I got it from my mom, and then not only that, just growing up in you know, in hip hop and the culture. You know what I mean? Like, you know, being a fan of music, you know what I mean? You know, growing up, and still to this day, like I listened to a lot of East Coast music because I love the rhythms and the beats of what I was hearing. It was very eclectic, you know. And then shout out to like all the local talent too at that time too. Like at that time it was like Coop Nut, RBL, Totally Insane, you know, a lot of the local stuff. You know, and then after that, then it got into GLP and those and in those groups. But you know, that was the thing, is like I grew up listening to Gangstar. Like Primo was like ringing in my head all the time because I was just memorized about the music that I was hearing, and it was so musical.
First mixtape I bought was actually sitting in your chair. It was a Walt Diggs mixtape.
Dope. Shout out to Walt Diggs.
Come on, man.
Yo, he just gave me, he reached out to me the other day actually.
Shout out to Walt
just
Diggs.
on the IG and shit, and this is dope that you know there's that platform that you can kind of still keep in touch with people that you don't see. But yeah, shout out to Walt Diggs, man. He has a great, like, it was Soul Avant-Garde, I'm sure it was.
Probably.
Yep, and he had he was really ahead of his time at that time. Shout out to Sake too, because they were like,
Shout out to Sake.
They were doing they were doing the Needle Soul before people actually even knew what that genre was. So again, I was always tied into the culture just because that was my habitat.
Shit that you loved.
Yeah, it was this thing. It was I thought it was cool and I understood it. You know what I mean? I was listening to music and I spent a lot of time, whether I was playing basketball or if I wasn't playing basketball, I was listening to music. You know what I mean?
Or at the same time?
Of course. So, you know what I mean? That's what get me out. You know, it was crazy. So I went to South City High School and
shout out to the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors. Shout out to the Warriors. and the crazy thing is because I was captain all 4 years, and it's so funny. And the people probably will never like shit probably won't even went over their head. So I would always make our warm up music, right? So I put together like 5-6 songs so we could warm up to, right? And then this is when we had to just record it off the tape.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you could put a CD together and then burn it or whatever. That was well before that. I'm talking about like 90.
Dubbing it off of
Yeah, I'm talking about 92.
Yeah.
I went to school from 92 to 96, right? So I had like South Bronx, fucking Nas, and you know what I mean? Like,
they're like,
I was
what the
playing.
fuck is this?
No, it sounded great. It
Yeah.
sounded great, but to the people, like, they didn't know what it was unless you were ahead.
Yeah.
You didn't know what this music was. You know what I mean? And that was the thing, is like, and I was selfish for that. You know what I mean? Because
the reach was different for
no,
music
but
back
that
then.
was the thing. Like, I was selfish because I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna play the shit I want because I got control. And no one, honestly, fortunately, no one on the team never had a gripe about our coming out music. You know what I mean?
Because you were the captain of the team.
But not only that, but there was stars on
Yeah.
team. Like because you're the
you were
captain,
the
doesn't mean
star?
you're the dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
So modest.
No, it was.
Come on, man.
I mean, it's more of a leadership
Yeah,
situation, right?
yeah.
So that's what it was. So, and I would play. It was so funny, and then I wish I still have it now. But we opened up to South Bronx, bro. So
Bronx.
So I mean, I wish you guys had tunes too. But if you could hear that shit, and the record is amazing, and you know what I mean. And for me personally, it just got me hyped, and it put me in the zone to where like, all right, cool, tip off, we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was so funny that like I don't even to this day like I'm sure that the people that were in the gym, my coaches, my teammates, the other team. They were like,
What the fuck is
what
this?
the fuck is going on? Like, what is
We're
this?
not there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
You know
his
what I mean?
last
Not
year
there.
picking music,
Exactly.
guys.
Whose mixtape is this?
Good thing he's a senior this year. We
Exactly.
won't have this
Yeah.
next year.
Next year, one more year. That's it.
Nah, real life.
Just to tie it back though, so when so you being like surrounded by the culture, immersed, you go to Barber College, you do your 16 hours or less.
Yeah, 1,600 hours. So
whatever you did, and then you ended up in Chicago twos.
yeah, so that.
Tell me about the transition into twos, because
Okay.
like during this time, and it's very important that I highlight this for a lot of our listeners, because some of them are our age, a little younger, but this was there for me. So I'm 41, right? In 98, right? If I wanted to get a haircut, it was on mission. It was either Abner's or his son Abner on 30th. Like, I didn't hear about Anton until I was like 20, 21, maybe 19, about 19, 20.
I was going to Conchita's on mission.
Conchita's.
Word. I don't even
Shout out
know
to
that.
Conchita.
No, but it's a lot of shops. Like,
Yeah.
even to this day, like coming up and down Mission.
But it wasn't our shops.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't our like. Yes, you could go to the auntie shops, but then you have to drive to Fillmore. You have to drive to the Visadero to go see Anton.
Right.
Get there at 7 a.m. Write your name on a piece of paper, and then call back at 2. Like,
And
hey,
hope you get in that
hey.
day.
So,
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
what am I looking at right now? Like,
Yeah.
he's like 5. I was like, you're pushing people in front of me.
Like
Nah,
5
and
hours
honestly-
or 5 people.
Nah, for real. So this is like, man, this is a sticky situation, man. Like, cause
You being a-
no, cause that was the thing. Is like, I feel so bad. Honestly, I honestly, and this is to everyone that's listening and anyone that ever had to experience that experience, you know, coming up at that time. So you gotta understand, like,
There's no text.
yeah. So yeah, there's no text,
You have to
none
be
of
on
that.
standby.
So I started again. I started August of '98.
Uh-huh.
We went probably a full year without having a list, okay? And when I say list, that's what Gus is referring to. There was
all
there
walk-ins.
used to, yeah, it would just be walk-ins,
Yeah.
right? And the thing was, because I had such a following, you know, like going, like when I was in barber school, and I was full-fledged cutting hair, because I was in barber school, and again,
It
that's
wasn't
a
just
six-
clippers. It was
yeah.
sheer game too.
All of that, yo, I was doing. I mean,
Nice.
I was very educated. I was educating myself in terms of being the best I could be. You know what I mean? So it was a different angle to, you know, and I was able to like share, you know, different looks for people. So you know, I mean, I didn't want everyone to look the same.
No.
Even to this day, like, you know what I mean, and no fault to anybody, but you know, there's some shops that were, you know, everyone is getting the same pretty
Cookie
much
cutter.
haircut.
Cookie
No,
cutter.
not so much cookie cutter, but everyone's getting a similar haircut. So you're literally, as a talent, you're doing the same haircut 10 times in a day. You get what I'm saying? My angle was a little different because I was into style and shit. I wanted the intricate looks. You know what I mean? I was all about that. You know what I mean? So, you know, again, like so at Chicago's, you know, again, we went from a whole year to where people were just sitting. It was to the point it was bad and it was embarrassing. Like where people were sitting on the floor because there was nowhere else to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of chairs in twos too. Like
Yeah.
you sitting up against the wall next to your chair.
No, there was
That's
like
many
no,
times.
but it wasn't inviting. You know what I mean? It was very intimidating. Like honestly, if I came in there
Bunch of
and
young
I
boys
just
on the
saw
floor.
like 10 people in the shop and everyone sitting, I wouldn't even know where to start. Right?
Yeah.
So I was the one to implement this list. Right? So it was very simple. It was just a list on a paper.
Computer paper.
And it said Chicago 2's on top.
Uh-huh.
And then there was myself, and it was by the chair, right? So
Yeah.
I was on the left. I was the first one.
Chair one.
Yeah, I was chair one. So it was myself, it was Ken,
Ken,
Dell, Dave, Rob.
Yeah.
Okay? And Robert Harlan is the owner.
Shout out to OG.
Shout out to OG. And I told him, I said, look, we need to find a better
Flow.
yeah, we got to find a better way of doing these things, right? Because you know, it's just getting out of hand. But it was, you know, the thing was, it was more or less geared towards myself, Ken, and Dill, because we were the younger guys.
You brought in the
You know
work.
what I mean? Yeah. But the thing is because you guys got to understand, this is a prominent black barbershop
Yeah.
in the heart of Fillmore.
Yeah. And
Okay.
not the Visadero now with all the arcades and wine bars and
no. This
and
is real Fillmore.
This is
real Fillmore.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And again, like I was even
Yes.
told, so I started in '98. I was told
Yes.
years before that for myself, it wasn't even safe for me to walk around.
No.
You know, because I would have got checked. Just like you remember?
Yeah.
I got checked on Market plenty of times when I would go to like Oxford Street and what
Come
was
on.
it? Midtown Rags.
Midtown Rags.
You know what I mean? And cats would check. You know what I mean? Because-
Especially if you're by yourself.
no, absolutely. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because, you know, again, I was going to get the fly shit, and I'm walking in fly, and they're like, yo, who the fuck is this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I dealt a lot with that. You know what I mean? So
Out there in Fillmore?
no. I'm just saying in general.
okay.
But I was, you know, again, I was told like, you know, just be cool. You know what I mean? So, again, I'm just a talent. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't even know what I was really getting into until I invested my time.
Yeah.
So once I started, and when things got popping, and we implemented the list, and then that's what Gus has mentioned, and I know Phil was part of that as well. And I feel bad because there would be a line out the shop at like 7 a.m. We don't open till 9 o'clock.
It was like a Jordan release.
Literally, exactly. That was the best. Honestly, that's big you up. That's like the best equivalent. It was like a release of some sort.
No lie, I put a couple names on the list when I'd go.
Yeah, but that's what you had to do. Like you had to figure out how to how can I finesse this?
How am I to get on the list? Right. That's all I gotta do is get on the list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what's the cool thing. It's and fortunately for myself, I was probably the more popular one at that time.
You answered the phone.
Yeah, that too.
That's when the shop phone would ring off the hook. When everyone had.
And I would answer the phone while I'm cutting, because I knew.
Come on.
I knew it was coming to me, and I just didn't want to put the old heads, through it.
For you again.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, let me just manage this situation. And again, I'm young. I'm at this time. I'm like, I don't even think I'm 21 yet, bro. No, I'm not 21 yet. Yeah, I'm like 19 years old. I'm not young boy, 19 years old, fresh, just like, you know what I mean? Just like trying to figure out life, and I'm raising a young daughter, you know what I mean? I wasn't married at the time, but I was just trying to figure it out, and I knew it was special because I seen the response.
Yeah.
And I seen the response from people that weren't used to being in those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So that was the thing. And that's what opened Rob's eyes, to seeing what I was doing, is because he said he saw that, like, man, he got a whole nother lane.
Yeah.
He got these Asian kids coming here like religiously
from the peninsula.
From the peninsula.
Yeah.
Coming to get fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I use that term. I mean, that wasn't his term, but I use that term. And that was the thing. It was like, it was such a big deal. And I honestly, to honestly, even to this day, guys, unless you ask me about it, I didn't even realize that was happening.
I remember. Okay, and this is a side story. We're not, but I remember going to you, getting my name on the list, and I was there for like 3 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Fuck."
I'm sorry,
3 hours. No, but that was my choice. Mm-hmm. I ended up leaving and going across the street to Hair Jordan.
You went to Hair Jordan?
Did you go to Hair Jordan? And then this is me, an Asian kid, not familiar with that barber scene, right? Because I came in, I sat down. And I was like, all right, there's only one person here. And then the barber came to me like maybe two haircuts later. He's like, you trying to get cut? And I was like, yep. Mm-hmm. There's 2 haircuts later. I was like, yep. Yeah. He was like, I got like 3 more ahead of you. And I was like, all right. And I left and I went back across the street. Good. And I waited, and you were like, all right, that was cool.
No, that's not happening. I appreciate you.
It's not happening.
No, I appreciate
Hair Jordan.
Again, you remember that though,
It was
right?
such an ill
Hair
time,
Jordan?
man. Absolutely. And big up to Hair Jordan. Or Jordan, I know him personally.
Dope.
Yeah. Because again, to give you guys a backstory, I spent 13 years at Chicago's.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and this was prior to me opening Attention to Detail.
Come on, man.
Which is 10 years new now.
10 years new.
Yeah, and then
still thugging out during this 2021.
Absolutely. And then after that, I was able to open up San Francisco Barbershop, which I unfortunately I had to close.
But you got the name though, so don't play.
Exactly. No, I own that shit. So it's big, and I got the sign to prove it too. So
my man got a name, so don't play.
Nah, for real. And so again, things are different now. But I'm in the game. Yeah. I like. There's not a day that goes by that I don't feel that same energy from that first day at Chicago's. The energy's still the same.
Being the Asian kid?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you gotta understand, I'm in a predominantly black barbershop in a black neighborhood.
And your name's Anton.
And my name is Anton. So
they probably thought you was playing too, right?
Well, you know what they did? And this might sound crazy, but it was at a time where, they didn't understand. You know what I mean? Like the community, or at least I shouldn't say the community, but some of the people that were like long time customers, because you understand Robert Harlan is a legend.
Yeah.
right? He's
How
been
long Chicago 2's been around?
Chicago 2's been around since. So I started there in '98. They opened up 9 months prior to me getting there.
Sheesh.
So it was a new idea in terms of location.
It was a spin-off off of the beauty shop.
Absolutely, but no. But if you understand Chicago, so the original Chicago's is on Fillmore.
Okay.
On
Is it near
Fillmore,
Harputs?
yes, right next to Harputs,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was the original. So
Easy hard puts.
so yeah, so Robert worked under the two proprietors that opened Chicago's.
Oh shit.
So, and then he eventually branched off. He worked at off Eddie. I forgot the name of that. I think it's called Jerry's. And then eventually he opened Chicago 2.
Okay.
In which shortly after, 9 months later, I interviewed, and then I was able to land my seat, there. And it was good. I mean, because it was great because Rob, like in hindsight, Rob like seen and forecast like the talent was changing. You know what I mean?
He gave you that shot.
Yeah, he gave me a shot. And that was the thing, is because, and I like to say, like, because so my interview with him, he had me cut his grandson. And I remember this clearly. Like I was so hyped to like show up my skills.
It's your resume right here.
Exactly. And so and he told me, he said slow down. Cause I went in, I just started getting after it. You know what I mean? And I gave his son a good haircut.
His son or grandson?
I'm sorry, his grandson, a good haircut. Shout out to Rob. I think junior or second maybe. Anyways, so I gave him a haircut and I nailed it, and he gave me a job. And
Nice.
again, now the rest was history. There's a lot we could talk about Chicago's. It's probably gonna be like 2 eps, talking about this shit. But like, there's so much, because there was so much game over there. Like I learned so much, and I was exposed. And at the time, this is, again, I'm a young boy. I'm into music. I'm into fashion. So I was being exposed to the city exposures
Differently.
Yeah, so I got to meet like some of the shakers, that were,
The
tastemakers.
Come on.
Yeah, so I was able to, like, even before that was a term, but I knew what was going on because, these are the dudes, like, you could tell, like, they were, being bigged up, and and this is when, again, I'm in the hood.
Yeah.
When the fly car drives by, like, somebody's in the fly car.
Yeah.
And who's in the fly
There's
car?
money over there.
And then once the car stops, everybody goes to the fly car and they hang out with the fly car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that was the thing. So it was a lot of that I was exposed to, and it opened my eyes to plenty. And then eventually I ended up buying the crib above us in the condo. I bought a condo above us.
And you were still late for work.
Still late for work every day.
Phil would tell me.
What the craziest thing is, like, I would literally live above the barbershop.
Above the shop.
And if I drilled a hole in my kitchen, it would have brought me right down. Like, if I drilled a fire pole, it would have got me to my station.
You do like an ill-ass Webster, like
No, because also,
Webster,
yeah,
like
for real.
laundry
Right there.
drop.
No, and that's the thing is, like, and so the cool part is that,
You bought that shit though.
absolutely, and in the cool part, it was that I would hear the chatter in the morning. You know what I mean? Again, we're only like
This
literally,
motherfucker late again.
we're literally like 15, 17 feet from the floor, from the ground.
This
The street,
is
from
old
the street.
old Frisco.
Yeah, it's from the
property.
street.
Yeah.
From the street. And this was a newer building. Don't give me questions. But it was, like, you could hear everything.
Yeah.
So, and again, like, the people that would come early and line up were the majority of my clients.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I was able to,
Ignore us?
No. I did, though.
Hey, yo, shut
On
the
some real
fuck up.
shit. On some real shit.
I just got
No,
it.
on some real shit. No, but I don't know, like, how I honestly, like, I don't know how I really like generated that traffic and that in all of those things. Cats were literally coming from the club. Because this is when
Yeah.
we were young, like, we were just like fake ID or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had city nights, but if you didn't have city night, you were going to the nightclub, nightclub. You know what I mean? So
Japanese Japantown Denny's to Anton's.
no, straight up, it was these situations where cats would be like literally like
IHOP.
sleep in their car, and just to get the number 1 or number 2 spot. And it was crazy because there was always like several people that like took pride in that shit. Like it became a competition. Like, yo, I'm getting number 1.
Yeah, I'm number 1.
Yeah, I'm number 1. Because if you think about it, if I could get there at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and be number 1, and get in the chair at 9 o'clock, that's better than coming at 8:45 and like what G said, like I gotta sign in, I gotta come back at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it was like it became a strategy type of thing, right? So and big up to everyone that did that, man. I appreciate you guys. A lot of people.
I used to cheat.
I bet. I mean, I would have figured that shit out too.
I used to be your last cut.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
So we go to milk afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
And
right.
if you ever go to the bar with Anton, he always has like, hey, I invented this drink. It's a brass monkey. Like he'll invent some crazy shit. Like
now you know a drink that I thought that was ill. So I used to get the Long Beach. You guys remember Long Island's?
I thought it was a Hypnotic and Sprite.
No. That's another one. No, because I used to put the Hypnotic in the fucking with the vodka.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
But the ill one was Long Beach.
Long Beach
with the Red Bull.
The Red Bull.
And you put the Red Bull in it, and that's when Red Bull just hit. You know what I mean? So it was so much hype behind it. And
meeting Anton at the bar, he'd be like, hey, Gus, you want this? I'm like, what is that? He was like,
exactly.
I just invented it. Had the bartender whip me up.
Yeah, that was just me just trying to be like fucking give him a hard time and shit, like, getting my money's worth and shit. So like, okay, here's your dollar tip.
Yeah, I need you to flex though, because so just talking about the shop, you've been in the game a long time, and this is the barbershop for me at this time. This is where I learned about music. This is where I learned about the culture. I learned about UGK because of Chicago, waiting for Ant at Chicago 2s. Yeah. Getting that Walt Diggs mixtape. Getting that T-shirt.
The Tools of Trade.
Tools of Trade. You know, it had the shear. It had the
shears. It had the Andis clipper and the razor.
And the razor.
And big up to Brandon, Brand One.
Brand One's been around, huh?
Yeah. Oh man, that's the OG for real. And Brand One and I came up around the same time, and and there's a side story to that too, because when I first started at Chicago's and I was like all about the hustle and trying to figure out how to market myself, and Ken and I, because that's my partner, a good friend of mine, and we worked together for years.
I got cut from Ken a couple times.
Ken's super nice. Actually, Ken's my favorite barber, honestly. Big up to Ken. I love you. We went. I remember this is when his office was in like Colma or something, and I think Alex had the ITF upstairs too. Big up to Alex.
Talk about Brandon's office was in
Colma? So Brandon's office was in Colma, and this was when Brandon was first started doing like the designs and stuff. And so we had someone. No, we didn't even do it. Ken and I went to Brandon, was like, yo, this is what we want. And I wish I brought the car with me because I have one left.
You had the flag.
It's there's so much nostalgia to this shit. Yo, it had
because we was there for
no straight up. So this was the thing. I said, yo, I want a globe, and I want shears. I want shears to come out like hands to come out. You know what I mean? Like basically like we're cutting the world. Yeah. Like that was like my shit, right? And I remember we offset it because we didn't do the regular business card. We offset it, so we did like a 3x. What's the standard? Business card?
Like a 2x5.
2x3.
Yeah.
So we did a 3x5.
Like a flyer.
Like, but borderline, not so much flyer, but that's when flyers were popping. So that's what gave me the idea. Is like, yo, let's do it a little bigger just to kind of offset the idea of it all. So big up to Brandon. He had someone, I forgot who it was, the artist that happened to be there, and Brandon was they sketched that shit quick. You know what I mean? And then that was that. And this was the time. So this was at the same time when Magic was popping. I don't know if you guys know about
Real Magic.
Absolutely. So this is like a fashion convention in Las Vegas that's held twice a year. I don't know if it's still happening. I'm sure it's still happening. I'm just out of the loop.
There's different versions of it now, though.
Yeah, there's like it's branched. I'm sure Agenda and all those things that I'm familiar with.
That T-shirt though.
So that's how that evolved. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you got to understand. Again, this is the era of that. This is the era of like, you know, let's print your own shit. like, you know what I mean, and like put you in a space, you know, put you
Yeah.
in a space to where like you could kind of like advertise yourself, and not only that, make it and monetize it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So those are the things, and so I was lucky enough to. I thought I was hot too, bro. I thought honestly, I thought I was doing some next shit. So I convinced Rob. So I convinced Rob, the owner of Chicago's, to allow to give me the space that's next to me. Like
Yeah.
so there's like a little. There's probably like
The
a
shelf
5-foot space.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna buy. Like I said, Rob, I got a T-shirt line that I'm gonna release, and I need this space, and I'm gonna find like a nice, you know, like. You know, table or whatever it is.
Pre
You know what I mean?
IKEA.
Yeah, No, I think I bought it from some IKEA or some shit like or Target. I don't know. I bought it from one of them shits. But anyways, it was a shelf and it looked great, and it matched the aesthetic of the shop, which is great because that's most important. Because Rob was so steezy, old head. You know what I mean?
Clean, had to be
like
clean.
super clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
All the
why
chairs have to match.
And not only that, like I had to make sure that it met the mold of the space. So I was in, you know, and unfortunately he gave me the green light, and I put out a series of T-shirts and hats.
Yep.
And the shit was pretty cool, man. And I honestly, some of that shit you can still wear now, like especially the bucket hats. Like you see like a lot of people wearing the bucket hats now. Like I was doing the buckets in like early 2000, like 2000 probably.
Fisherman,
You know what I mean? Like fisherman buckets. and my line was called Blended Images.
Blended.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. So the backstory of Blended Images, and this is fucked up because I never got to it, but I was like cheating on Chicago's
Yeah.
at the time because because I was like, all right, I'm gonna make Blended Images is like the offset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I always told myself at that time, if I ever opened a shop, what would I name it?
And that was the one.
And it was that, Blended Images, right? So I said, you know what I'm gonna do to get the name out? I'm gonna start pressing these T-shirts, you know what I mean, and then tagging Blended Images like you would tag now on the IG and all the shit or whatever, you know, whatever platform.
Just to build a name.
Yeah,
up.
to build a name, right? So I did that, and the shit was dope, man. I did like a reggae shirt, and I'm not a reggae dude. I just did it because it looked good, and it was the time. I did a
hot at
long
that time,
sleeve.
yeah.
It was a flag.
Yeah, it was dope. It was a flag. You remember?
Come on,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, and then G got the G, but the tools of art was fucking classic.
Yes.
I did a white one and a gray one, and then I did I did like regular logos, like you would see like Nike shirts, you know, like just a Nike with the logo. So I took that concept and I did like 3 designs, and it was just a BI logo, and the BI logo was fresh. I wish I had it with
Clean.
me. Super clean. It looked like graffiti, but it was steezy, and it was cool, and it was cool because
You had to be there to get it.
you had to be there to get it.
There's
Not only that, but
you had to be at the shop.
but it was so dope because it was another angle for the consumer to
Yeah.
be engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
To support the barbershop without having
Absolutely,
to
and this was a whole nother brand in which they probably didn't even understand that what I was trying to do at the time.
They're just like, oh, here, just
Yeah, like I'm
T-shirt.
here to support, and it's cool. It looks cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so and again, I did that. And again, I had a illustrious career at Chicago's, and you know, I remember most moments. You know what I mean? Because it really holds close to me. You know what I mean? I was able to raise both of my kids in that same building.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for real.
You still got that too. That's still you, right?
No, I actually sold it. I sold it years ago.
Wasn't your daughter sitting there for a little bit?
Yeah.
that's right.
My daughter was saying, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you know, it was just a great time. It was a great time for not only myself and my family. It was a great time for like the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be that close and be able to like persevere during understanding, you know, what I was actually doing. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know I was in a predominant black shop and African American shop, and going into a situation to where like now like I could introduce the Filipino culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
You were bridging both though.
yeah,
too,
absolutely,
you know what I mean?
and that was the thing. So to your question earlier of like how difficult that it was, very difficult because you know there was a lot of people that passed judgment on me. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't black. You know what I mean? And I told myself, you know, and once I endured that, and you know, there were some times where like I might have got emotional, you know, within myself, just because I didn't understand. You know what I mean? But I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm a talent. You know what I mean? And I love what I do. So I'm just gonna get to that. Let me lean on that part. You know what I mean? Let me lean on that. And
Don't
this
worry about
is a
the
young
other
man.
shit.
This is a 19-year-old man trying to figure out, you know what I mean, my space in that space. You get what I'm saying? So that was the thing. And so, and once I got past that, and then the response was, you know, welcoming, and it became a thing where, you know, I was part of
Your community.
of Chicago's.
Yeah.
Then I was able to like flourish, and that's why I was able to do, you know, a T-shirt line, hat line. I eventually started promoting, and I was doing parties, you know, and it was all based on, you know, me being a community person and having a pulse on the community. You know what I mean? So, and that was the thing, and that's why it was cool. Is like now, you know, I was like a link to invite you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To come through. You know what I mean? And then, you know, and again, at the time, this is GLP.
Yeah.
So Quinn is across the street. You know, big up to Quinn. I cut his hair several times, you know, because, and he came to me on hype, you know, because here, like, you know, I mean, again, this is a Filipino kid cutting at Chicago's in the Mo. You know what I mean? So
That's
and
nice.
And that's nice. So he came in and was just like, yo, I got to get with you.
He's like, I'm next.
No, well, I mean, it was
There's
the same
no
part.
list
Honestly,
for
on
you,
some real
Quinn.
shit. No, honestly, on some real shit. Quinn, as a gentleman, he came in and he signed up like anyone else would do.
Really?
No, absolutely.
Nice.
It was during all that time. Again, the list situation ended up obviously, you know, taking all. I mean, like I don't know how long it lasted. I mean, because what it really did, it gave us structure.
Yeah.
And it gave the consumer an idea of like, where do I stand?
It gave them hope.
Hope to get a haircut.
No, honestly, yeah.
Oh.
If you want to look at it like that, no, but it gives them an idea of where am I at in this process?
Go into
Yeah.
that list and be like, list
Yeah.
is closed. Like, list is
No,
closed.
No, but also
List
real
is
shit.
closed.
And I hated that because I had 20 spots,
Yeah.
right? I had 20 spots on the
Per day.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
On the spreadsheet.
Per day?
Per day. Right. So I had 20 spots, right? And there would be I would say probably like 65% of the time the shit would be done by like
noon.
9:15.
Oh.
No. Like everyone that would wait in line, there was that many people that were waiting from 6 in the morning till 9:15.
This is daily.
Yep.
This is daily
on a
But
Tuesday.
typically like more or
More
less.
like
No, it was like the weekend.
Friday,
Like,
Saturday.
Yeah, the Friday Saturday
Okay.
was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when you would hear like the chatter. You know what I mean? And everyone like they get to know each other because you're standing with the same fucking people
Every
for
other week.
hours, and you're like, well, fuck, what's your name, bro? Like, let's
He
get
used
to
to be
know
like,
each other.
oh, well, that dude
Let's
was
get to
here.
know
He
each
was
other.
waiting in his car. Like,
Absolutely.
well, no, I was waiting out
and,
here,
and
though.
honestly, and there were actually fights and
Yeah.
shit. There were fights and shit that I heard about.
Over a
I never
haircut?
witnessed.
Yeah.
No,
Over your
no, it was
space.
not about the haircut. It was about where I was on the lake.
I've
like
been
someone
here, but
saying,
I wasn't
yeah,
in
someone
line.
saying that, you know, I was here before you. I was in my car, but you was asleep.
Yo, ultimately, it's over a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Sure.
Basically.
Yeah.
So,
Over a haircut though. Because I really want you to
Emphasize that.
You're a real humble dude. Like your resume as far as people that you cut, because you don't put that on your Instagram at all. Actually,
Nah,
you're not even active on your
I'm
Instagram.
not, you know, honestly, and I admit I need to do a better job of that because this is the time.
We'll come
and
to that.
And honestly, I could you really use it, obviously, especially with what COVID has done to the industry.
But flex
and
your
me
list.
personally.
Flex your list.
no,
I want to know
absolutely.
your list.
Okay,
Your
so
list.
Talking
if
about
I could go back,
celebrity clients?
Yes.
yes, if I could go back, if I could go back,
I know Mighty
sorry.
Most, right?
Mighty
yeah. So
Yeah.
most, so Dante,
He's a regular.
yeah. So most def Dante Smith. If I was introduced to him by Alex Aquino. Big up to Alex.
Shout out to Uncle Al.
And shout out to Uncle Al and Kamel from Alk Marketing. And at the time, I didn't know Kamel, but
He's a
Al,
crusader.
absolutely. So
Yeah. Written.
yeah. So
Alumni.
Al, he reached out and he's like, "Yo, Mos is in town, and he wants a cut." So I was like, "All right, cool." And
No, wait. What goes through your mind? Like, what? For real?
So at the time I was already
yeah,
I
you're
was already doing a lot of celebrity shit at the time. You know what I mean? So like I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, I was gassed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I remember exactly the day it was. So at that time, Ivan from the Pirate DJs.
Shout out to Ive.
Shout out to Ivan. Him and I were doing a happy hour at Milk. on Thursdays. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah. That's what Phil would drive you to, right?
Yep.
Exactly. So we
I
would
was
do
the last cut.
exactly,
Milk,
and then we'll go to milk, right? and it was cool. It was some low key shit, you know what I mean? But it was cool because we were just doing some fun shit, and it was different because I loved going out at 10 o'clock, but I didn't. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, let's find a spot where we could just fucking vibe like you would at 12 o'clock and midnight.
Like
Maybe
early.
not rage like that, but like just have a spot like too. And milk was perfect. And at the time, milk was just bubbling. And
Yes.
you know what I mean? And shout out to
Early
Eric.
milk.
Shout out to Eric. I haven't seen you in a while, but shout out to Eric, the owner of milk. Again, like we did that. You know what I mean? And I remember that day I got the call, and it was like like we had maybe like 10 people in the room. And Ivan and I would just host and just be there. And we would provide like nachos and some bullshit for people. But it was cool. It was good because it was something to do at that time where no one was doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, maybe we were a little early, sure. But it was cool. It was good. It was something for the people. So that was cool. But I remember Alex calling me and he's like, yo, mostly wants a haircut. Boom. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to do it. So I went, and I remember he had a show at 550 Barneville. And I cut his hair. I think it was either at the Cliff.
Oh, you made a room call.
Yeah, I made a hotel call. And then when I met Mos,
What were hotel calls cost at that time?
so I was charging 100.
Back
Yeah.
2000, early 2000.
Yeah, that was like 2003.
Yeah, it was 3-ish.
Around there. It was around there, around that pocket.
And that's without tip.
That's without tip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, it was like, and then most had a simple haircut. You know what I mean? He's like a Caesar. It was even. But I convinced him. Good story. I convinced him to put a part. You know what I mean? And I give him like a little slit, like kind of like that. Not the half moon Nas, but the the Nas that like right off the edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very subtle.
Yeah.
So I convinced him to do that because I was like, yo, and because once I was almost done, I was like, what's up? You want anything else? And he's like, what do you think? And then that's when I like jumped out the window and I said, like you put a part in your hair. And he was like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because again, the energy was right.
Yeah.
So fortunately that worked out, and then I went to his show, and I remember being at the show. So this 550 Barneville, and I remember the show. And I was looking.
550 Bonneville.
Yeah, and this is when like video was still early, right? But then it was
Camcorders.
dope. Yeah, but it was dope because they had like big screens,
Projectors.
Projectors.
Yeah.
But this is early projectors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they had a projector, right?
No
And
HD.
No HD though. But they framed him.
Yeah.
They framed him, and they framed his face.
Oh.
And
The
I saw
haircut.
my whole cut, bro.
Yeah.
Yo. And it was amazing. I'll never forget that shit. And that shit just gave me chills. And that was clean. No, and not only that, and it was a basic haircut, but just to see my work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it was just like
Elevated.
Honestly, it brought so much joy to me. And since then, Dante and I have a great relationship. And every time he comes into town, and he wants service, he knows who to call. You know what I mean? Again, and we have a relationship. And again, that was then. It was like around like
03
or something like
This
that.
is Ruckus. This is Ruckus.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy hip hop shit.
Wait,
Like,
you,
heavy.
you
like,
telling me right now you got Most Def's number in your phone?
Yeah, I do.
Come on.
Absolutely. And he has my number.
Yeah. Even better. I need that money going.
Actually, it's
I
good.
need that money.
You know what I mean? So
God
again, and I could go, if do you want me to elaborate more on like more of the artists that I've cut?
Yes.
There's one, and call me yes or no. Puff.
So Puff, so big up to Gino.
Shout out to Gino.
yeah, shout out
Savage
to
Marketing
Gino.
at the time.
Absolutely.
Team Why Not right now.
Exactly. So I don't know what Gino was heavy, man. Like at that time.
In the promo game.
Yeah, in the promo game.
I
Gino,
worked with Premium.
Right.
Yeah.
So were you guys around at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, so you already know. So Gino would big up to Gino, man, and
he had all that radio work come through.
Yeah, so he had the Bad Boy account, right? So he had the Bad Boy account, and he shot me everyone from Bad Boy. And this was at the time
When you say everyone, say it.
Well,
Say
so
it.
no, so
Mace, Murder
We wanna
Mace.
hear it.
no. So
We
I
wanna hear
cut. I'm gonna tell you the illest story.
Okay.
So this is one of the illest stories. So if you remember, Loon.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
So if you guys remember All-Star Weekend in LA, Loon is in LA, right? He gets in the altercation of some sort. He ends up going to jail for attempted murder, I believe.
Ooh.
Okay? This happens.
Mugshot
Right.
with your haircut?
No. I'm gonna get to it. So that happens. No, that happens, right? So that happens. And then Gino calls me. So time elapses, right? So Loon apparently is doing time or whatever's happening.
Uh-huh.
Gino hits me. He's like, "Yo, I got Loon. You got time to give him a shape up?" I'm like, "Loon?" I'm like, "Loon." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Word." Okay, so I'm in my head because I keep up with.
Yeah.
Like at the time, I kept up with hip hop like that. Like I knew what was going on, and I was like, "Yo, this cat is in jail, isn't he?" Like in my head, you know. So apparently he's out, right? So his first stop is San Francisco.
Okay.
So again, Gino's the plug, and so he comes to Chicago's, and it's Loon, and you could tell he's fresh from jail
Fresh
because
out.
he's like fresh out. His shit grown,
Yeah.
and I get him in a chair, and I'm bugging out. I'm like, damn, this cat just off a fucking murder bid. He's on a murder bid. He's on a murder bid, and again, I thought like he had a season. You remember Loon?
Yes.
Loon was fly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like
He's a pretty guy.
Yeah, he was a pretty dude, Harlem dude. You know what I mean? Steezy as fuck. You know what I mean? So I thought I was gonna give him the Caesar, like give him the Loon.
Yeah.
Give him the Loon.
Yeah.
Right. So I like he was like, nah, just shape up my beard. And I was like, all right, cool. So I get to talking to him, you know what I mean? But I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna say to him? This cat just got out the bid. He just served
you been up
served
to,
a little.
bro?
He just served the bid. And I'm just like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, so
How you been?
I think we just started talking about cars, you know what I mean? Because we just started about cars, and then he started riddling off some shit, and I was just like, all right, cool. And then I remember, I'll never forget that because he just came and I literally just shaped his goatee.
That's it?
And that was that. But it was so cool because he was such down earth and understanding his situation. You know, he just came off a serious, situation. And now he's in my chair and I'm like, how do I handle this, right? You know what I mean? So that's one story. Another one that comes to mind, you guys remember Young Jock?
Yeah.
Okay. So Young Jock, big up to Gino again. You know, he sent me this work. So Young Jock comes to the shop and he has like 3 cats with him, his team. So they're from Atlanta. So if you remember exactly, so I'm gonna get to that. So he gets it. So he comes to the shop, and if you guys remember BT, when BT had the 106 in Park,
Yes.
and they did like the they did the top 5, right? They did the 5 hot records, and then they had the honorable mention one, like the one that's like about to break the 5.
Yeah.
He was in the shop, in his crew, in his team, and they broke that record.
It's Going Down?
The Going Down record.
And he was in Chicago?
In the shop, yes. And he broke it, and I got to see the reaction from him and his team, and it was so memorable because it was bliss.
Like he made it. Like I made it.
He made it.
I made it.
Exactly.
I made it.
He's from Atlanta. He's in fucking San Francisco in a barbershop, about to get cut by some Filipino kid. You know what I mean? And his record is playing on
BET.
fucking BET. And then you remember at Chicago's, we had that little ass TV.
Yes.
That shit was like a 10 by 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the thing, and they went nuts.
Dude.
You know what I mean? So that was a really cool.
crazy.
That was a really cool memory.
Going
You know what I'm saying?
down.
And again, there's other artists obviously that I've cut. You know what I mean? And we don't have to go into all of that. But I mean, again, I've been around.
I need you to though, because you're a humble dude. Give me at least 2 more.
Okay, I cut some ball players. I mean, like I cut some of the Giants.
Is
feel,
Puff Daddy a person that you cut?
I was with Puff. I didn't never cut Puff, but I was with him during the Making a Band. Right, so I cut all the Making a Band guys.
Dialogue.
Yeah. I was supposed to cut Puff, but I he didn't have the time.
Like you went to the set?
Yeah, no, I went to their hotel.
Oh.
And Puff had him in some like I don't remember. It was like some cutty ass hotel. You know what I mean? So I mean, again, I would have loved to got to Puff, but I mean, like we had conversations and shit, but it just never, it never happened. But I cut a lot of their team, and like it was all those, at that time. I cut Dylon, and like
Chopper.
I remember in Chopper, and like I remember
Ness.
because they were like young boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like super young hype boys, and like And you know, and that's what made the honestly that's what made the that kind of work difficult, because you worked on their schedule. The majority of the time you sit in the fucking lobby, you know what I mean?
Just waiting on that.
Yeah, waiting on. So it wasn't like at some point it didn't become fun.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that became a thing. I also cut. You guys remember Federation?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Big
remember
game.
18 Dummy?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a big record, right?
Yeah.
Huge record.
Dummy.
Yeah.
So I cut them before that shoot, and I remember, and I have to be honest, man. I cut two of the guys. You know, so because one dude had like dreads, so I didn't cut him. And the other two,
Goldie, there's Stress,
Okay.
and Doom Coon.
Okay, so I cut two of those. I don't know exactly who, but one of them, the one that had the Caesar.
This is all through Gino.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
all through
exactly.
Gino
You
Federation.
already know.
Yeah.
You already know.
Universal account.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
through Gino.
So he had a Caesar, right? So when he's dumb, and I was, and I didn't know the record. I didn't know how big this record was. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was going on. So he was just like, "Yo, could you put a design?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." You know what I mean? And then I was like, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "Just put 18 on my head." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I literally just like cursive at 18. And, you know, I mean, do I think it looked cool? I didn't really, but he wanted it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
It's not your haircut.
But literally, they left, so I was their last stop. So once I was done, then they went to shoot. So that was another recollection.
18
Yeah. So I mean, and so now, you know, I haven't really cut too many artists lately. You know what I mean? In the past, probably like, I would say probably like 5 years. I've
The last two, no one's been touring.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like 5 to like 8 years, I've been just passing on, because I'm just fortunate to have like, you know, to like, you know the proper people that are willing to do those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The house calls. And
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, again, you know, I mean, you know, not all money is good money. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like I found myself.
To the guy who pulled up in a Porsche, I'm gonna tell you.
No comment. So that, you know, that's the thing. Is like,
I like that money though.
nah, for real. Me too. So, but like that's the thing, is like, you know, again, it was, you know, again, it just came down to like me valuing my time, and more importantly, like I prefer the artists to come to me in that sense. You know what I mean? Just so I could give them my experience. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, especially like, you know, I don't know if anyone, the people that have been to Attention to Detail, it's a beautiful space. You know, it's in a great part
Sexy,
of town. Yeah,
grown.
yeah, it's very polished. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and again, obviously it's a reflection of myself, and not only that,
Sexy, grown.
you know, no, but not only
Come
that,
on, man.
No, only that, like SFB, like that was the offset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was real Frisco, you know, great art. You know what I mean? Like we had music bumping all the time. You know, shout out to all the barbers that work with me.
What's up, Ron?
Shout out to Ron. You know, shout out to everybody that was there. That you know, it was just very unfortunate that we had to cut it short. You know what I mean? I looked to eventually revisit, you know, the whole concept.
Keep on the lookout
you know.
for the rebirth. It's
Yeah,
happening.
absolutely.
It's gonna happen.
You know, not only that, you know what I really pride myself on was that I implemented an educational perspective. Where
That's
I was,
what you
where I
like,
was,
though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Right?
what, you know. So that's where that's what I was able to do, probably, you know, the last year prior to COVID hitting. I had 5 apprentices where I was training them, and I was willing, you know, and I was able to give them a job upstairs, and then eventually, you know, if they wanted to go to ATD, then that would be a situation as well. So, you know, that's what I love to do. Like, I want to get back to that. Excuse me, I'll get back to that, because, you know, that's where my heart's at. You know, because it gave me you know, another part of my career that was, you know, untapped.
Player
You
and
know.
coaches.
Absolutely.
Steve Kerr, this shit.
No doubt.
Come on, man. I remember. Okay, like I only had 2 barbers in my life. As far as, you know, after your parents stop paying for your haircut and you got to go get your own haircuts,
You get really selective.
you get really selective about who you give your money to, right?
Yeah.
Or as far as who you have access to. And Anton was my first barber for a long time, and he done some crazy shit with my hair. I remember he was like, Gus, you want to change up your hair? You got some hair, you know, we could change it up. I was like, you know what I want? I want the John B. Like, and if anyone knows, like the R&B John B was
Caesar, like heavy Caesar.
Heavy Caesar.
Yeah.
The heavy Caesar. So he had my shit grown out, like almost like a friar tuck, but he had me clean.
Is that when
and
you used to comb it
crispy.
forward?
Yes. Let's jam. Yes.
Let's jam.
I was outside.
Oh damn, G. Oh shit.
I was
He said
outside.
Let's jam. Honestly,
Why you
big
do
up-
that to?
Yo, big up to Let's Jam, man. I don't know if they're still around. I hope they got bought out by some people
I
because
hope so.
they were ahead of the game, man.
Yeah, it's
Because all the
milk it,
pomades
too.
that you see now derive from like that formula. You know what I mean? They probably
Let's
cleaned it up
Jam.
and made it more, you know what I mean, like more
Less thick.
or I mean, I don't know what the term was. Like they probably like, you know, like there was more you know, nutrients and whatnot, you know what I mean? But
We gotta
Let's
find a
Jam
picture.
was literally like
The one.
the pomade,
Yeah.
like that was the post dep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so you fucking with dep, you were doing gel.
LA looks.
Yeah, all that shit. LA looks that's when Let's Jam came in there. That was a game changer.
That's different.
And you know what I mean?
It's
I
different.
just wish that you know, again, I don't know if they're still around, but you know, big up to Let's Jam.
You
Come
washing?
on.
Are you washing with mane and tail after that?
No.
You either washing with
It
mane
was,
and tail.
it was
and you
whatever
finish
mom
it?
had it. It was probably herbal
Yeah, exactly.
essence. Whatever mom had.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but that's so dope though. Like, I mean, I'm glad like even to hear that to this day. And again, we're talking about, you know,
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Because my
Like-
hairline, I got a hat on for a reason.
No, but I'm just saying like the fact that I was able to give you direction and like some
History,
creative
yeah.
like some creative looks. You know what I mean? Because that's honestly like even to this day, like I like I'm always trying to like press the envelope and trying to.
What can you do with his hair?
Yeah.
Now? Check it out.
Well, yeah. Well, I could say this. I mean, like honestly, on some real shit, even for yours. Like, if I put a shape up on you, it'd be a whole nother look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I get,
believe
like
it.
literally, like you know, you're short, and obviously
Yeah.
you probably ripped it either yesterday or the day
Today.
before. You ripped it today.
Yeah.
But you didn't rip it to that.
I
Like, that
didn't-
should be bald.
No, I went. I can't go close anymore.
Oh, okay, got
Yeah,
it. So you
yeah.
just like a 3/0
Yeah.
or like a liner.
Yeah.
All right. So, honestly, P, if I put a shape up on your shit would look like
Popping.
Chris Paul.
Woo.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like
CPP.
It'd be like that. You know what I mean? It'd be a different look.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh shit, like, damn,
Yeah.
like,
Who's
what we
this guy?
doing? Remember when Gary Payton?
Yeah.
Remember when Gary Payton always had that like, damn near bald, but he had a shape up.
Line.
Yeah.
His line was crispy.
Yeah, he had a shape up, and his shit was damn near bald.
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I could literally do that, and it'll give you a whole nother vibe. So
You can actually grow your hair out too and get a whole
I
nother
can.
he
vibe.
can.
Because
Yeah,
his
shit's
sheer
still
game
full.
is on point.
No, but not only that, like I used to cut P, like, you know, I wouldn't want P to have like, you know, other looks, you know what I mean? But he always wanted to, you know, the
Keep it
even.
simple, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted the fade, you know what I mean? Which is cool. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, that's the look, you know what I
Me
mean?
and Phil went to you right before we were going to Vegas, and I told Phil on the way there, I go, I'm gonna get me a design, I'm gonna get some lines in my head, and then
I talked you out of it.
Yeah,
You're like, you don't want to do that.
Because I'm like, Gus, what the fuck you gonna do that for? You
was like-
you trying to get all this attention?
He's like, what are you doing? I was like, no, you don't want. He's like, you don't need it, Gus, and I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
But
He said, I'll do it if
yeah,
you
sure.
want it.
But if you think now in hindsight, wasn't that the move?
He saved you.
Well,
I think he still wanted to do
Well,
it.
I still want it now, but I don't got no hair. You know, I still wanted it because I wanted to be busting in Vegas.
My bad.
Before busting was a thing, I wanted to be like,
Oh shit.
that was
No,
a
I
real
get it,
thing.
man. Now again, we was young, we was hype, man. So you know what I mean.
The energy that you brought to twos was different because, like you know what I mean. Like you gave us a safe space.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we
it
didn't
felt
have a
welcome.
place to go. You know what I mean?
Word,
like
word.
I went there because of Les. Les was like, go to Anton. He's over at Chicago too. And I was like,
Yeah.
where's that? He goes, Google Maps it, or not Google Maps. It was
No,
like,
there wasn't no Google Maps.
MapQuest.
He gave me a
MapQuest.
MapQuest.
Was even that a thing then?
Shit.
Probably.
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah, it
okay,
was.
all right, cool.
And then this was like 01. No, I want to say like it was like 99. It was like 99. Like
Yeah.
when you like probably like a year in, and I was like, oh, I like Ann. I went there for a while. And
Yeah, because
then-
I went there because of him.
Word.
And I was like, all right. It was like you said, it's like a safe place. Like same thing. I'm from South City. I'm driving up into
Like
the city.
both of you guys, like before Anton, did you ever go to that part of town to just?
I worked in the area.
Okay.
So that's why I was even more. So I was like, all right, cool. I could stop on.
But you never would have thought of like, oh, let me just go get a haircut over here.
No.
it was like if I was in that area, I was in Japantown.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
I wasn't out on the other side of the.
Yeah, because at that time there was really not much over there. You know what I mean? You had the barbecue spot. What was the barbecue? The OG like brother-in-laws or some shit like that.
Brothers Barbecue.
Or something like no, it was brother-in-laws, and then it became Brothers Barbecue. But yeah, that was like the only like destination that you would go to unless you had
Jay's
Philly,
cheesesteak.
yeah, the Philly cheesesteak.
The cheesesteak shop was
or
there.
the cheesesteak shop was there.
That was on
that was
other side
probably
of
there at
Geary.
the time. But yeah, there was nothing that would attract you to go there. Like there was no reason to go there unless you had.
If you wanted to buy like CDs from like a corner store, like
yeah, so you would go there. Yeah, that's right. I mean, you would go to Haight.
McDonald's.
Haight.
Yeah.
You would go to Haight, and because again, the vicinity is very close.
But us out there, like you said, 7 a.m. waiting in line just to put your name on the list to call you back at 12. Like where am I at right now?
Yeah, yo.
I remember I didn't start work till 10. I was there 7 a.m. Like what the fuck am I doing? 3
Yeah,
hours
what am I
before
doing?
work?
Yeah, I'm like, I hope to get a haircut.
Yeah. I know you hear me up there.
No, honestly, I feel bad, man. Like that was such an awkward time because like there was even a moment where I would work out and I would go on a jog. And
you see the line
and so straight up, so where my garage was at, it would let me out like in the middle of the block. So it wouldn't be on the corner because we were on the corner.
Yeah.
So I would literally have to strategize. Like I would open the gate door, and
run.
peek, and just to see and just see what was going on,
Throw
and
the
then I would
hoodie on.
run, and then I would just get out and I would run
The
and
opposite
in
direction.
the opposite direction on my route, and I would do my workout, and then I would come back. And then I would come back and have to do the same thing
With a hoodie on.
Yeah, just be cool. And I would see some people too, but and obviously people knew what was going on at that point. But it was just awkward.
Give that boy his space.
Yeah.
It was just awkward. You know what I mean? It was just like, and because I put myself in those situations. Like I didn't want to be. I didn't want to have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel bad. I mean, that's what it was, right?
No, but naturally, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You just like it was just awkward. You know what I mean? It's like shit. I don't like. I knew what I needed to do. I need to go. I want to go on this run.
But you knew everybody was there.
Everyone was waiting on me. You know what I mean? Again, like 90% of the people that were waiting outside were waiting for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You brought that line.
Yeah, exactly, man.
What made you decide to take it to? What made you decide to take it on your own? You know what I mean?
It was just, I was inspired to do that. You know what I mean? That was something,
You kind of exercised in your head, like
yeah, I mean, like anyone
years
else.
in.
You know what I mean? Like when you, as an entrepreneur, you just, you want to build, and exceed, right? So, you want to find yourself in a situation where you're always challenged. So that was my thing. Like going into Chicago's again. You gotta understand. Like I didn't know the dynamic at the time. I didn't know it was. Like this prominent of a, African American barbershop, and these things were happening. You know what I'm saying?
It was just a job at the time.
Yeah, it was I was a talent. You know what I mean? I was sought out for. You know what I mean? And big up to Ken. He's the one that shared that. Where I should go.
Yeah.
And because our plan was to work together. Ken, and Dell. We all went to barber college together, and so we always said, we formed like some camaraderie. And we were like, "Yo, let's when that time happens, let's just let's do this together. So let's just find the right pace."
Both of them moved with you to ATD?
No, so Ken came with me, and he opened ATD with me. And this is fast forward 2011. We just celebrated 10 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's cheers to that.
Cheers
That's a big deal.
10 years.
Absolutely. Cheers,
Cheers
guys.
to that.
Cheers, cheers,
Salute.
cheers.
Salute. So that was great. To again to be able to even share that. You know what I mean?
That's a long time. 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then it's crazy, even just despite what we're dealing with, during the pandemic and and all those things, and even to see like where I'm at, you know what I mean? Because everything's compromised now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm dealing with those internal issues.
It's like starting all over again with you.
Yeah, I'm literally starting all over, honestly, and it took a while for me to accept the idea, let alone live it. You know what I mean? Like, it was very challenging within the last year just to kind of, and even till now, I'm still dealing with certain issues that I'm not used to. But again, I'm still here. I'm still thriving in terms of like my mental and my personal space, which is great. You know what I mean? So I
Very
lean on
important.
that. Yeah, so I
Keep
lean
that
on
mental
that.
healthy.
Absolutely. So like that's what's important. And so, again, with that said, I know I could still revisit it. You know what I mean? I could revisit everything that I want to do and that I've done already. You know what I mean? So, I look forward to that. You know what I mean? And I look forward to, seeing some of this new talent, that's being developed. And, because it reminds me a lot of myself. I came up the same way. I just didn't.
There wouldn't be a lot of this new talent. And I'm going to say this because, I said that your favorite barber's favorite barber, which is the title
Honestly,
I give you.
So that's cool. But I think I'm just like the most like, I think because I just been around. You know what I mean? I've been around. So it's like it's easy to pick me.
If you didn't do what you did as far as like breaking that mold and exposing like all us cats out here on the peninsula who didn't have that go-to barber, like you created that lane to where other barbers started opening up their shops.
Mm-hmm.
Like the explosion of barbers that happened.
Yeah.
I want to say from explosion of barbers from like let's say 05 to now is that was the new rap career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, the way it took off was crazy to me. And salute to everyone that's been able to live their dreams within our industry.
You made it a little easier for people to navigate that lane, though.
Yeah,
I seen that because there's a lot of people who I see go to you for cuts who then became
barbers.
a barber.
Yeah, absolutely.
I seen that happen.
There was a lot. I mean,
now there's a barbershop every 3 blocks.
Big up to Anthony. Big up to man. There's a lot, man. There's a lot, and it bugs me out because again, like those are the same guys that would stand in line with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the thing, in hindsight, I would like to think that I encouraged them. You know what I mean? I gave them some direction. You know what I mean?
Give them a vision.
You inspired a lot of San Francisco barbers.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Like a lot.
No, absolutely, and I appreciate that. Like again, it's it goes a long way, man. Again, I'm very humbled in that sense, just because. Because it's nothing different. Like I came up the same way. I bet on myself.
Props. I don't think he gets enough props because
he's super humble.
So I don't know you. I just met you today, but I hang out at a barbershop a lot, and at this barbershop, there's a lot of young cats from the early 20s to their 40s, right? Mm-hmm. And every single barber that's been through there, they speak very highly of this guy,
Anton.
And when Gus said, "Yo, I'm bringing Anton," I said, "Who's that?" And then he forwarded me a link. He said, "Anton the barber." I said, "Oh. I fucking heard this guy years ago." Mm-hmm. I don't even get haircuts. I just hang out at a barbershop.
As you can see, we hang in a similar circle.
So what barbershop are you hanging at?
I'm always at Hef's.
Oh yeah, that's family.
Shout out to G, shout out to Ron.
Shout out to that's family, man. Like
the young cats and old cats. Every single
real.
barber speaks very. Even they're not cutting their nose, but they.
You were at a zoo a lot too early.
Shout out to Germ, man. Like Germ, Germ shows me so much love, man. And not only that, like I love what he's doing, like with his podcast. I love what it like he's an activist. Like I love like his opinion. Like honestly, and I'm not gonna go in too far into this, but I remember when COVID just hit, and
everyone closed.
Yeah, everyone closed, and we had we had Zooms. And it was a collective.
BABB?
Yeah. Well, big up to BABB. Shout to Phil. Shout to Randy. Shout to D-Rock.
What's up, y'all?
Those are my brothers.
Derek.
Yeah, all those guys. But that what happened when COVID hit. No one. Everyone was looking for answers and shit. And I felt a certain pressure. From me.
They wanted you to navigate them, right?
Well, not so much navigate. Everyone just wanted some answers. You know what I mean? Like, yo, how are we gonna do this? You know what I mean?
He's not gonna say it, but they all looked up to him.
But it's love. I mean, and I obviously I know these things. But the thing was that they wanted to, and I did too. I wanted to understand what was going on. So and I had no answers. But Germ was so proactive. And he was just like, "Fuck this, man! I'm gonna keep my shop open."
Right. Shout out to Hess Barbershop.
Shout out to Germ, because he stuck to his guns, man. And honestly, I could be real. I wasn't ready to do that because I couldn't afford to take any more losses. You know what I mean? I was dealing with like big boy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like dealing with a space on 16th. I got another space here. You know what I mean? My
Financial
landlord wants,
district.
yeah, and I'm like, yo, I can't jump out the window, G.
Yeah.
Like I got to, like I can't afford to do it. I just can't financially afford to jump out the window.
Yeah.
You know, and Jeremy was just like, nah, fuck this, man. Like this
Straight
is my
up.
shit. This is my shit, and you know what I mean. And he bogarted that shit. So like again, I told
And he
him
rolled
this.
that shit out.
No, and he rolled it out, and you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, and he was right in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? He was right in a lot of ways. And big up to him. I'm still waiting to get on the podcast. I don't know why you waiting so long. We'll talk about that another time.
Come on, Jeremy.
But no,
I'm
some
Gus
real
Crane
shit.
Bridges out
But not
here.
only that, like I got so much love for everybody, man. Like again, like honestly, you guys got to remember, like when I was coming up, my head was to the ground. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna get 20 people in this day. So I didn't know what the fuck was going on around.
Anton get you on 30 minutes.
Easy.
Easy 30 minutes for a ball fade. Come here.
No, but not only that, like that's what I pride myself on. I'm very efficient.
Yeah.
I don't waste much time.
No.
You know.
But he still have a conversation with you.
No, it's very cordial.
That's
you know what I mean?
very.
No, absolutely.
That's very barbershop. A lot of barbers don't have the
absolutely.
conversation piece.
You know, because I was taught the game. You know what I mean? I was taught that, like, you know what? Let me just as the talent, I knew to finesse the shit. So I would say some slick shit like, this is some barbershop talk. I would say some slick shit like, I'm cutting Phil, for instance, and Gus is in Dell's chair or Ken's chair, which is next to me. So I would ask a question
Yes.
in reference to Ken, just to get his attention.
It would spark.
And exactly,
Yeah.
and then I'll fuck Phil's head up, and I'll get him done. And then when I say fuck it up, I don't mean it in the wrong way,
yeah.
but I would get it done.
Yeah.
But
You
you
know what I
also
mean?
felt like you were a part
But
of
I
the
was a
whole
part,
experience.
but who? Because you got to think who orchestrated the shit. So I would say some slick shit and just like, yo, who you think is gonna win the Super Bowl? And then obviously chatter, and then now the tension's off me.
Yeah.
Now I can get to work.
Yep.
So that's some game. You know what I mean? So like those were one of the tactics that I used to use, because I knew I had 20 people to cut within the, because I had to get home.
Yeah.
Like I had my
Two girls?
at the time. I had my wife and
All the
you
way
know what I mean?
upstairs.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? All the way, all 17 steps in a corner,
17.
in a corner of the chrome. Right. So at the time, you know what I mean. So that's what it was. And then again, for me, it really showed me how to navigate through shit. You know what I mean? And get out of certain situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, but yeah, again, man, like this is it.
Yeah, like it's just as fast as you knocked it out, like you never felt like you were really rushed.
No, not. I never. I hope that I don't feel like that. Like any of my clients that feel like that I'm trying to get them out of there. Like, you know, again, I'm in the business 23 years.
Easy flex. 23 years.
23 years, and like I like to think. Even
A lot
to
of
this
y'all
day,
even 21 yet couldn't hear.
Nah, for real. Like, and I like to think to this day, like my clients appreciate my efficiency. You know what I mean? That's what I pride myself
Attention
on.
to detail.
Exactly. It's like,
Come on,
it's like
man.
I don't need to take an hour and a half to fucking get this shit done. Like, no. Like,
Efficiency.
No. I'm very efficient. Like, I don't waste a stroke. Pause.
Yeah. Me neither.
All gas, no brakes. just to wrap up the podcast, and like you said, we need to have an episode 2 because we were just
sure.
kind of cracked. We were just knocking.
Honestly, we haven't even like
touched a lot of this.
on.
Whatever I sent you.
Yeah, it's not
because
even
we just
close,
freestyled
bro.
it.
Like honestly, like we're just cracking 90, like probably like 2002.
Yeah.
And
We
haven't hit anything.
barely got you
Yeah,
out of
haven't
Chicago's.
We barely asked.
We barely got you out of Chicago's.
We barely got you out of
Barely.
barber school.
We barely got him off of 6th Street.
Yo, shout out to think on some real shit though. Like as a Frisco native, for everyone that knows that drives up and down 6th Street,
Barber College.
the 6th Street Barber College was a fucking institution, man.
Grime.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing is like all like some of the best talent in the industry to this day has come out of that school. And that's what and that's what got me, honestly, that's what got me there, because I seen like the like the lineage of it all. You know, I noticed that. I noticed like, you know, even though it was hood, you know what I mean, but I still like was able to like sort that out. You know, I still recognize the talent, and regardless of whatever they did, but I seen the talent, and I wanted to be a part of that. You know what I mean? So that's what drew me to go to 6th Street.
Yeah.
You know, again, this is a Filipino kid from South City. Come on, man. What the fuck? I'm jumping out the window. Off the fucking 18-story building. You know what I mean? Like,
because you about to be a father.
But not only absolutely. I was a young father at the time. And you know, again, like, you know, I said, you know what? And you know, you hear this term often, but you know, I was like, yo, I'm gonna bet on myself.
Sink or swim.
I'm gonna bet on myself, like real life. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. I bet on myself, and even to this day. Even, you know, during these tough times, during, you know, COVID and the pandemic, you know, I lean on that. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I can't switch up now. What am I gonna do? I mean, you guys want to see me, you know, in the Amazon truck dropping off your groceries and shit?
Yeah. But what the fuck are you doing in there?
I was like, why are you here? You just give me a line?
Like, you would be so confused.
Could you linguini?
You'd be so confused.
Sideburns?
If you see me in a uniform, you'd be so confused.
Yeah, I was like, with Halloween?
Yeah,
Are you
like
playing
on some
that
real
here?
shit. You'd be so confused.
You get out that truck. What are you doing?
The most uniform I ever seen you in, besides you implementing the shirt and tie at
Yeah.
HED, was that black zipper up that you used to rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to wrap it up,
Are we done? Are we
yeah,
done already?
we rapping.
Oh
we
my
rapping.
god, dude!
That was an hour?
That's an hour and a half.
Was it?
There's been an hour and
Yeah.
a half.
Bro, we haven't even.
I'm telling you,
we
We're gonna have
I'm
episode
telling
2.
you,
OMG.
just the biggest takeaway you want to
Episode
leave.
2.
You want to leave for the people, for yourself.
Well, there's never a takeaway. You know, again, I just big up everybody, man. Like, big up all the young barbers, the veteran barbers, internationally. You know, Cali is making big noise. I mean, there's a lot of young boys that are, you know, doing stuff like huge things that like I never even forecasted. You know, and just big up to everybody, man. I mean, just again, and on some grassroots shit, you know, just support your local barber, you know, because they need it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I think what will help, and you could timestamp this episode, but. What will help is when, you know, the people get back to the office.
Yeah.
It'll change the dynamic.
Off of Zoom.
Yeah, it'll change the dynamic of everything, and people will get back into, you know, getting back to the shop, and then be more social. You know, like, you know, obviously it's summertime, and you know we have these next 3 months will probably be the better weather months of San Francisco and the Bay Area. So you know, I mean, just support your local barbers. You know what I mean? You know, and ask how they're doing. You know what I mean? Because that's real. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're going through a lot of distress because I think our sector was one of two with the restaurant sector that was hit the most with the lack of support.
That and tattoo.
You know, as well.
Yeah.
Right. So if you look at, like, you know, our sectors, you know, like, you know, it wouldn't hurt to ask how they're doing. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's good to you know, to be mindful of those things, you know, as we move forward in life.
What's the address where they can find you at?
So you can find me at Attention to Detail Barber Gallery, 2180 Sutter Street in San Francisco, California. I look forward to seeing everybody. Come visit. You don't have to get a haircut. Just come say what's up. Yeah. And that's
Is there
it.
attention to detail coming to Westboro anytime soon? I would be there all the time.
Yeah, no, honestly, before we wrap, like, that was my thing. So, like, that whole blended images, as I mentioned earlier, that idea then, because as a young boy, I wanted to open. Remember, what's the Filipino restaurant on Callan across from the
Ling Nam?
No.
Alitos.
Oh.
So at Alitos, there was a shop. There was a salon there.
Yeah, right next door. Yeah.
Feel real Westboro right now.
For real. No, real life.
Real
Thank you,
crispy-
Phil. Honestly, because
real
I would
crispy
have I would have never been able to.
Shout out to Jen and Jeff Alito.
So, yeah. Big up to them. And I had aspirations of, like, opening up in that space, and I said to myself, because at the time I lived in Daly City, but I moved from Westboro to Daly City, so I knew the neighborhood because, again, I ran those streets all my life, or as a young boy, and I said, yo, this is a dope spot. You know, they already had, like, the setup, and I was like, yo, that's blended images. and you know, it never happened. And you know, God willing, I was able to do ATD or Chicago's ATD and SWB. Damn, that's a lot. But yeah, big up to you guys. Thank you for having me. I think it's
Thank you for
important.
cutting our hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Keeping
why
us
we're married
fresh.
now, because you kept us fresh.
You kept us
No,
fresh.
on some real shit. No, you know what's so cool is like, you know, there's a lot of like significant others, or partners, whatever, however you want to call it, that, you know, they would big me up. And I honestly, I never knew how to take that, because I was just like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Thank you for making him look so good.
For real. No, because I've been very fortunate, you know what I mean, to do like weddings and stuff, and you know what I mean, and that was another thing, and this we'll talk about this on the next show, but or the next our you know, our next episode, but you know, like I was very fortunate to do like open the game of doing you know, the grooms and the grooming party, you know, where that wasn't a thing. Like naturally, you know, as a wedding, you know, the wife had, you know, a hairstylist to do, you know, her hair and the grooming party and the women. Yeah. Right. So like I did that years ago, where I put packages together, and I was able to like. That's you know, smart. Like I did cool shit. Like I was able to like it was like an offset to like doing the artist. You know what I mean? And it was an offset to like get the real money, because I realized this shit is budgeted. Yeah. Like they're like the people that can afford it, it's budgeted. Yeah. So it's already in the book. Yeah. So I just gotta fucking put a package together, and you know what I mean, and make it feasible for them. Yeah. And then get to it. You know what I mean? So I did that for years, and I still do it now. I mean, as things open up, I hope to get more business. But yeah, I was able to like, you know, see the world, you know, on that, you know what I mean? And it was a whole nother angle. Yeah. You know, like my last one, I was in Guadalajara for my good friend. Yeah, and absolutely. And I was part of the glam team, and I pitched it that way. I was like, look, because the wife, my homegirl, her hairstyle was out of LA. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, well, shit, okay, I'm coming from Frisco, all right, you know, and they had money. You know what I mean? And they were able to put it up, and you know what I mean, and we were able to get it done. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like cool. It's like it's the entrepreneur perspective, right? It's like, yo, how can I leverage myself in a space that's
fruitful? Nobody waiting in line.
And that's fruitful. Well, you know, but that was all part of it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's great.
No, again, like those instances, like that whole, you know, like if you look at the line, right? The line was developed because of hype. Yeah. Okay. The line was developed by hype, right? So I had to think consciously of like, all right, well, how do I make this a better situation? And it was as simple as putting a spreadsheet with 20 lists on every barber's name, and boom, simple. Yeah. It was that simple, right? So that's why, again, to the notion of, you know, providing grooming service for the grooms and their bridal party. It's no different than the women. They've been doing that shit. Yeah. So I was like, to myself, I was like, shit, why am I getting tapped out of? I want to stay in Napa. You know what I mean? And you know, obviously, you know, you in Hawaii. Yeah. You know, you at the fly spots. Yeah. You know, you ain't having a wedding in you know what I mean? And some people do, but the people that could afford the service.
Fly me out.
We always in some fly shit. I'm always in some fly shit, bro. Yeah. And that's what was cool. And that's when I realized I was like, this is a better game.
Anton Cura, Attention to Detail Barber Gallery on Folsom, episode 111 Free99 podcast. We want to thank you for your time.
My brother.
Legend.
Hell yeah.
Anton Cura, 111.
Thank you, cousin.
Fun?
Amazing.